Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the IHSA Board of Directors, their administrative staff, the IHSA Track and Field Advisory Committee, and the administration and staff of Eastern Illinois University, welcome to O'Brien Stadium for the first day of the 120th Boys State Final Track and Field Meet. Our competition is conducted under rules and regulations adopted by the IHSA member schools. Sport a winning attitude and practice good sportsmanship today. Remember, attitude is for everyone. Enjoy the spring spectacular. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I ask that you all please rise. If you would, face the colors of the United States and join with us as Charleston High School senior Zara Casey sings our national anthem. Zara Casey, ladies and gentlemen. You'll see her in just a few minutes. At this time, if I may direct your attention to the 25-yard line, where it is my privilege to introduce to you the man in charge of interscholastic competition, track and field, cross country in Illinois, the Assistant Executive Director of the Illinois High School Association, Mr. Ron McGraw.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's my pleasure to welcome you here to lovely O'Brien Field on this beautiful morning as we celebrate the track and field championships for our boys 2A, 3A meets today. We do appreciate your attendance and know that you'll support these young men in a very positive fashion. I would like to take the opportunity while I'm here to thank a couple of hundred individuals who are here this weekend working as officials and volunteers, non-paid. I say it every time I get a chance. Remember that these folks are paying for their own hotels and their own food and their own transportation. They're here to make sure that these young men have a fair opportunity to compete and walk away with an experience of a lifetime. They stood here yesterday through a 4.5-hour delay, and when I needed them to come back, they were right here. So would you help me, join me in thanking them for their help this weekend? It is our tradition at our championships that we have our meet referee read a sportsmanship statement. At this time, I'll introduce to you from Edwards, Mr. Jamero Rainey, our meet referee.
Thank you, Ron. Good morning, everyone. The Illinois High School Association requires officials to enforce sportsmanship rules. Athletes, coaches, officials, and spectators all have a part to play in this process. High school athletics emphasize the positive values we all have worked hard to create: a sense of teamwork, respect, responsibility, and perspective. All attributes of good sportsmanship shared by competitors who demonstrate this good behavior. We encourage and appreciate your assistance in promoting sportsmanship and we hope this competition will reflect the mutual respect of all parties. Good luck and have a great meet.
We'll be bringing our 4x8s out here on the track in just a minute. Our schedule will be 9 o'clock start. We do have a schedule in the program that we will try very hard to adhere to. It's important that everyone understands, however, that if the weather should turn, we will need to make an adjustment to that, and we'll do that. If we do that, we'll certainly let you know that that's the case. I will ask you now that here we are in Charleston, Southern Illinois, and this time of year the weather is very unpredictable. It jumped up yesterday and stopped us for quite a while. At the point in time when we had to stop it, we let the fans know that there was a lightning delay, and we asked that they leave the stadium. That will be expected of you today. Should that happen, it's for your safety. We will certainly appreciate your cooperation. You may go to your car, you may go to Lance Fieldhouse, but you will need to leave the stadium. Our athletes and coaches will be removed from the track and likely taken to Lance Field. So with that, I appreciate when the time comes, should it come, and we hope it doesn't, that you're willing to cooperate with us. I want to introduce someone to you that you haven't seen yet. You heard her sing just a second ago, but this is Zara Casey. She's our young lady that just sang the anthem. It's very difficult to speak down here because there's a long delay. I wanted you to thank her for what she did for us this morning. Congratulations, you did a great job.
Thank you.
You know, inside down there. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I'll turn it over to Mr. Piesinski, the voice of IHSA Track and Field, and bring our 4x8s out here in just a second. Have a wonderful day. We appreciate your attendance.
In heat number 1, Chicago Dunbar will be in lane number 2. In 3, Elmwood Park. In 4, the Sages of Monticello, Piatt County. In 5, the Pioneers, Normal University. In 6, the Maroons, Champaign Central. Over to the second Super Alley now. In 9, Chicago Noble Street. In 10, Chatham Glenwood. In 11, Grays Lake Central. In 12, from the Metro East area, Troy, Triad. And in 13, leading this sectional race is Springfield High School, third best in the state from the sectional performance. The Senator is in position 13, red over black. Clean start. First race of the day here at O'Brien Stadium. Springfield out on the outside. Looks like they're in the 2 spot. Coming into this, Springfield with an 8:02.15 from the sectional competition. Caneland, 7:55.32, leads the field. Early leaders here. Springfield back into the lead. Troy Triad in second place. Looks like Colin Hayes, and in there also is Normal University. As they come around onto the back stretch, it still looks to be Springfield. Tyler Owens, the leadoff runner for Springfield. Normal University being battled by, looks like Troy Triad. Troy. And here comes a Normal U High into the first exchange. Andrew Welch is the second runner for the Pioneers. He's a junior. We just got past the 2-minute mark on the first 800 meters. So Normal in the lead, followed by Springfield, followed by Troy Triad. Sort these out as two of those four schools in all red, no markings in the front. 2173, that is Springfield High. That's Tyler Owens. Now, in the 4 position, 1612, that's Chatham Glenwood in the all red. That's Tyler Jones. He's in 4th. Troy in between them in 3rd. There's Grays Lake coming up. Grays Lake Central. As they've gone through their 400-meter first of 2 on this leg. Now Springfield swinging out in front of Normal University. Owens back in the lead for the Senators. Followed by the Pioneers. That's Andrew Walsh in 2nd. Looks like Troy is in 3rd. That's Colin Hayes for Troy Triad. And Hayes moving up for Troy, overtaking Normal University. 22:40 for Troy. Colin Hayes, a senior. And Walsh is holding him off, and it now looks like Troy will fall back into 3rd. Springfield in the lead. Chatham Glenwood is 4th. Champaign Central is in 5th place. That was Corey White running for the Maroons. After the next exchange, Springfield still in the lead. That is Patrick Fitzgibbon for the Senators. Springfield followed by Normal University. For the Pioneers, that's Jordan Ho. And that battle is for 2nd. Chatham Glenwood trying to swing to the outside. 16-18 for Chatham is Landon Skelly. Troy holding on there to 2nd. The 47 runner is Blake Meyer. So the battle for 2nd between Normal University, Chatham Glenwood, Troy Triad. It's still Springfield clearly in the lead. This first race of the 4x8. The record 7:47.92 set 4 years ago by the Senators. 7:47.92. Springfield been very accomplished in this event. Troy Triad in 3rd. That's now Chatham Glenwood in 2nd place. So the 2 Springfield area schools, the 1-2 here. Chatham is a immediate south suburb of Springfield. Springfield High coming around the north scoreboard. 21-69 for the Senators. Patrick Fitzgibbon, clear lead on Chatham. 16-18 is Landon Skelly is 2nd. There's Troy in 3rd. Blake Meyer, final exchange. We go to the anchors at the 6-minute mark. Springfield away with Chatham Glenwood. Troy into 3rd. Champaign in 4th, then followed by Normal University and Grays Lake Central. Next across is Monticello. Running the anchor for the Senators is David Sias. a senior. He's coming through the north curve. Sias approaching the bell now onto the straightaway. Chatham Glenwood is second, 16:13. For Chatham is Grant Kaiser. And a battle between Champaign and Troy. Now it's Troy. The anchor is Ben Richter. Richter into third. Just past 7 minutes. Springfield not missing a beat. 300 meters to go for the Senators. That's David Sias. Chatham is second. Champaign moves into third. Champaign's anchor is Ashton Hyatt. Ashton Hyatt into third. For Chatham, it's Grant Kaiser. Here comes Springfield High and David Sias, 7:41, 7:42. They're going to finish under 8. Triple jump, report to the south pit. Field referee to the pole vault pit. Here comes Springfield High with the first win of the day. And they're across just under 8 at 7:59. 7:59.58 is Springfield High, followed by Chatham Glenwood at 8:05.16. Champaign Central at 8:06.38. Then Troy Triad, 8:09.25. Normal University, Grays Lake Central in the 5 and 6 slots. Monticello next, with Elmwood Park and Dunbar in the 8-9. Second call, 4x100 meters. Second call, 4x100 meters to the tent. All right, in the field now for race number 2 of 3 in the 4x800s. Chicago, Noble Street Charter, the Chicago Bulls team in 2. Lansing Ileana Christian, the Vikings from the borderlands of Lansing in 3. Aurora Central Catholic will be in 4. The Highland Bulldogs, Madison County in 5. In lane number 6, it'll be Johnsburg, the Skyhawks of Johnsburg in 6, Glen Ellen, Glenbard South in 7, Mundelein Carmel, the Corsairs in 10, Dixon, the Dukes will be in 11, Stanford Olympia will be in 12, and in 13, the Comanches, Cahokia. Defending state champions team-wise in Class 2A. Clean start as they get past the break. Here's Cahokia trying to slide down into the lead, and they eventually accomplish it at the 200-meter to go mark. Cahokia with Jalen Monaghan, the Monaghan brothers, big players in these relays. We need competitor Fedoruk of Gordon Tech to check in at the pole vault. Fedoruk, Chicago, Gordon Tech, the Rams. Check in at the pole vault now. And Monaghan continues to hold the lead for Cahokia in this second race. That's Ileana pushing for the lead as well. For Ileana, this is Austin Gibson. Ileana has solidified performance in this event over the last couple of years. Interesting to note that the Board of Governors of Ileana High School voted to move the high school to the Indiana side of the border in the near future. So only a few years left for Ileana Christian on the Illinois competition. Here's Cahokia with the handoff. It's going to go over to Tyron Lyons. Lyons holds the baton for Cahokia. Ileana is still second. And it looks like Stanford Olympia in third. And we're looking for Steve Lawrence of AAE. Please report to the dugout. Steve Lawrence of AAE, please report to the dugout. Tyron Lyons of Cahokia in the lead. Ileana Christian is second. For the Vikings here, we've got Colin DeYoung. And third is Olympia. Stanford's runner, Chase Thurman. There's your top three with 400 to go in this leg. Central Catholic in the 4 spot. Aurora Central Catholic in the 4. That is Javier Montalongo. And a battle for the lead between Ileana and Cahokia. Two teams complete opposite ends of the state. Metro East and Chicagoland. Battling 1-2 here. Stanford right behind Aurora Central Catholic next in the mixed, followed by looks like Highland. Highland is next in the mix. And we are ready to hand off after the halfway mark. Cahokia still in the lead. Ileana second. Stanford Olympia third. Aurora Central Catholic fourth. Now for the Comanches, it's Mike Monaghan. These guys were very accomplished through the indoor and outdoor season. In the 4x8, we'll eventually see Maple Park Caneland, Cahokia, and Troy. As we saw, they've got the ability to run in the mid-750s, although the only one that got there in race number 1 under 8 was Springfield. Here's Cahokia with Ileana right behind again. For Ileana, this is Nick Wandall. And he's going after Monaghan right now. I know that Johnsburg challenging for third. It's still Stanford Olympia in the 3 spot. For Olympia, that's Tom Evelsizer. Looks like they're still holding third. Flight 2 of the triple jump needs to report to the south runway. Flight 2 of the triple jump, report to the south one way. It is still Cahokia and Monaghan. Final call, 2A, flight 3 of the shot put. Wandall in close pursuit of Monaghan. Cahokia, Ileana. Ileana, high finisher in this event a year ago. Johnsburg is the 3 spot here. Highland is 4, Stanford 5. And we go into the anchors. Again, just above the 6-minute mark. Anchor here for Cahokia, Chris McGee. Chris McGee opening it up a bit on Ileana Christian and Tony Wandall. So the Wandal brothers, last two legs for the Vikings of Iliana. 6:31 as Cahokia comes behind the scoreboard in the north curve, followed by Iliana Christian. McGee first, then Wandal. And Johnsburg in the 3 spot, 19:07 for Johnsburg is Noah Miller. Here's Highland and Stanford Olympia battle for the next spots. We have 400 to go in this race. And it's still Cahokia. Cahokia now onto the backstretch. McGee and Wandal. Let's see what's happening with 300 to go. Wandal has turned on the accelerator. Wandal, Iliana Christian into the lead. Here are the Vikings. Chris McGee, a sophomore, responds, trying to stay with Wandal. Looks like Iliana Christian's going to head for an automatic berth. Cahokia is going to try to stop that right now. Here is McGee. McGee and Wandal. Wandal on the inside, McGee on the outside. Comanche storming back here. You're going to hear a lot of Cahokia this weekend when it comes to Class 2A. Their girls won the title last week, and it's Cahokia at 7:57, followed by Iliana Christian. Here's a big battle for third. Johnsburg, Stanford, and Highland next in. Looks like Dixon coming up next on the scoreboard. Cahokia with the win. Iliana Christian second. Cahokia under 8, unofficial 7:57. Flight 3 of the triple jump, report to the north pit. Flight 3 of the triple jump, report to the north pit.
And here's the field. In Super Rally 1, Position 1, the Eagles of Chicago Lindblom. In Position 3, Rockford Christian. In 4, Lincoln Way West of New Lenox. In 5, it's the Knights of Peoria Richwoods. Position 6, Metamora Redbirds. Out in Super Alley 2, we've got Chicago Heights, that's Marion Catholic. Sycamore on their outside. Richmond Burton, the Rockets in position 11. The Cougars of Vernon Hills in 12. And on the very outside, the Knights of Maple Park Canelan. And they're off.
It's Lincoln Way. Man, they got different colors on this year. West is the Warriors. Okay, and they are holding the rail, I believe. Yeah. And who's the other?
That's Lincoln Way West. The Warriors, they're at the rail. We'll pick them up at the north turn, coming out of the north turn.
1735 Spartans. It's Marion Catholic.
Marion Catholic, that's the Spartans.
Howard.
That's Cameron Howard, the senior. He is in the lead.
2306 is in second.
Hold on. Second place is Lincoln Way West.
Second place, Lincoln Way West.
And I think Canelan is in third. What's well, we got a new second place here. Is it going on? It's still
Canelan, I believe, is in sixth right now. They are your section leaders. They ran 7:55:32 last week. They're followed by Metamora.
is in second.
That's Metamora in second now. The Redbirds of Metamora in the red over black. Marion Catholic, they're still your leaders. They're way out in front of the field. Lindblom in third. Now here comes Caneland. That's Austin Nitz, a sophomore.
Big battle for second behind Marion.
And a plethora of runners in that second group.
It's now Marion first, Caneland second.
Marion from Chicago Heights. Caneland now moves into second. Joshua Haynes, a junior, runs for Chicago Heights Marion. At the rail, that's Caneland. Lindblom now moves into second. The Eagles, a freshman, Nick Triplett, runs for Caneland. Check that for Lindblom. For Caneland, we have Luis Acosta running for the Knights.
1732 is this guy right here. No. Is there a 32? No, it's Acosta then. Acosta here. This is him.
And battling for second.
Lindblom and Caneland
Lindblom and Caneland
for second.
battle for second.
Still Marion.
It's still Marion in the lead. Chicago Heights Marion well ahead of the field.
Joshua Haynes.
Joshua Haynes
Now Caneland moving in the second.
runs for Marion. Now Caneland moves into second. Drew Franklin runs the third.
Rockford Christian battling for third.
Rockford Christian now battling for third. They're in the outside.
And here comes Metamora and a new guy out there. Let me see.
That looks like Sycamore
Yes.
now moving into third. Mark Stice running for Sycamore. And Caneland now closing the gap on the leaders.
2-6 is for Caneland. Yeah, Yohi.
Caneland into the lead. That terrific second leg by Luis Acosta. And Marion still in second. Rockford Christian in third. Now they're being challenged. That's Metamora. They're coming back. John Mangold, a junior, runs for the Redbirds.
And Rockford
Your leader, however, is Kyle Carter
for Caneland.
for Caneland.
Okay.
That's Caneland.
Metamora.
Metamora.
1990 Metamora. is
Running for Metamora is John Mangold. Rockford Christian
Christian into
now overtaking Marion. Rockford Christian into third. Marion runs fourth.
and Sycamore.
Sycamore now in the white over gold. They're in fifth currently.
Caneland on the backstretch.
On the backstretch, that's Caneland. And Metamora trying to close the gap. Rockford Christian in third, now Sycamore in fourth. Marion drops to fifth. Kyle Carter, the junior, running for the Knights of Maple Park Caneland to the final exchange. Metamora closed the gap a little bit. Metamora is still Mangold.
Rockford Christian is third.
They're under 8-minute pace. They're running about 7:57 or 58. On the anchor for Maple Park, we've got Nathaniel Kucera. He is a senior. He is going to run for Stanford next year. Kucera, your leader. Metamora in second. Travis Shire, also a senior, running for the Redbirds. They're 1 and 2. Rockford Christian is in third right now. Seth Geddes runs for Rockford Christian. Marion now moving towards fourth. Sycamore still in fifth. To the bell lap. Nathaniel Kucera. About 6:54. This will be an outstanding time for the preliminary race, with the finals coming tomorrow. Metamora still in second. And running for the Redbirds, Travis Shire with 300 meters remaining. To the backstretch, we've got Caneland, Metamora, Rockford Christian, Lincoln Way West. In the peppermint stripes, it's Lincoln Way West, the Warriors. Kennedy moving up. Here comes Kucera to the finish. Nathaniel Kucera running to the finish. Metamora second. Lincoln Way West, and Rockford Christian. It's Lincoln Way, Rockford Christian. It's Rockford Christian, Lincoln Way. It's Sycamore following.
By
Marian Catholic.
And then Richwoods.
Richwoods. Maple Park Caneland.
Even 66.
8 minutes flat, .66. Your winner from the final preliminary heat in the Class 2A 4x800 meter relay.
And we have a clean start here in the middle, the Orphans of Centralia. Troy running nice. That is going to be Josiah Profits, the junior. We go to the first exchange. It looks like it's going to be Troy Triad and Centralia.
Yes.
Centralia now out in front due to the stagger. Troy Triad holding on to the second position. We're going to go to the second exchange. Troy Triad with a smooth baton.
Then Centralia.
It's Centralia followed by Springfield, the center of the top four. And here comes Mascuta out in lane number 8. We go to the final exchange. It's Troy Triad out in the middle in lane number 6. Troy Triad, the ones to beat. We have the Orphans of Centralia, and the triangle has formed on the outside. The Senators, we're going to have a battle for second, but it looks like it's going to be Troy Triad in a close second. It's going to be 7 and 8 between Springfield and Mascuta. We go to the board. And a clean start here. That is Brandon Bishop out in lane number 5 of Maple Park Caneland breaking the stagger, and close behind is Burlington Central. We'll go to the first exchange. It looks like it's going to be Caneland. Caneland's second leg, that is Brandon Cruz. Cruising down the backstretch. On top of him, you have Champaign Centennial. That is going to be James Williamson, the freshman. Caneland is first again with Burlington there. That is Jason Borgjohn, the sophomore of Burlington Central. Caneland still leading the way, though. Dalen Nugent, and it's an open and shut case. The senior, the junior, Isaac Sweathers, leading the charge. Dunlap moving into it with Jacksonville. We go to the tape. Caneland. It looks like it's Burlington Central will be second. That anchor leg was Casey Matthews, the senior. And we'll go to the board. Maple Park Caneland did not Disappoint 42-62, followed by Central of Burlington 43-02. And we're underway, heat number 3 of 4 in the 4x1. A nice move for Grays Lake Central out in lane number 8, but we'll go in the middle. Comanches of Cahokia in the middle, followed by, we have Sacred Heart Griffin in the middle. We go to the third exchange for Cahokia. This is going to be Karan Sessions, the junior, with the smooth exchange on the inside of them. Sacred Heart Griffin, Sam Boisaniga. And we'll go to the final exchange pretty quick here for the blue track. Around the curve is Cahokia. Now it's Dunbar. That's Demaria Harris from Chicago Public League is going to be close of Dunbar. Cahokia Dunbar, followed by Sacred Heart Griffin. Demaria Harris of Dunbar on that last leg for the 4x1. But it looks like it's going to be Comanches 42-58. For Cahokia, that is Kevon Atkins, the junior, followed by Dunbar, 42-81, Sacred Heart Griffin, 43-37. And they're off. Pretty close to call. The staggers haven't been broken yet. This is going to be an interesting first exchange, and we'll go to it here. Close call, Sycamore and Galesburg in the middle. Inside is Plano, the Reapers.
Yeah. Plano.
Plano.
There you go.
Open and shut case. It could be for Plano. An extraordinary third leg. We'll go to the anchors here. Sycamore. Back in the lead here. Moving well. Now we have a chase here out in lane number 6. That is Galesburg. Galesburg trying to close. It's going to be close. It looks like it's going to be hung on by Sycamore. We believe that was Deanna Hooker, the junior of Sycamore, on that anchor leg, defending 200-meter champ last year, 42-64 for Sycamore. Galesburg, a hard charge to the finish, 42-69.
Here we go. You got Session of Cahokia in the middle. He's got Canelan challenging right away. That's Nauert. Now it's Session. Session moving to the front, followed by Nauert and then Thomas of Springfield. But on the inside, you got Riley, and the one's going to go 5, 6, 7, 5 and 6 clearly. I don't know about 7 to 4 on that one, but we're going to give it to Corian Session of Cahokia with a 14-6. The record is 13.97. Here's your field. In lane number 2, Sean Davis, Oak Park, the Fenwick Friars in 2. Patrick Lefevre, Aurora Central Catholic in 3. Logan Schneider, Sycamore. The Indians in 4, Lucas Ege of Burlington Central in the middle in 5. Next to him is Terry Allen of Champaign Centennial. The Chargers in 6, Brock Robertson, Maple Park Caneland. The Knights in 7. Peoria Lions will have Brandon Ruffin in 8, and Dusable in this one as well, Tone Joryman in 9. And in this race right now, you got Lefevre. Lefevre now on the inside of him is Ege. Lucas Ege. And he's going to win it in 5. And then it's going to be close for second. Lefevre ran well early. It might carry over for him. After that, I'll leave it to the camera. 14:54 Burlington Central, Lucas Ege. All right, let's go to heat number 3 here in the hurdles. Final heat of the hurdles, and here we'll see Gary Hickman of Cahokia in the middle. With him in this race will be Jacob Wiggins of Grays Lake Central. The Saints of Bloomington Central Catholic will have Michael Billington in lane number 3. Evan Lowry, Chicago Walter Payton in 4. Gary Hickman for the Comanches will be in the middle. Nick Pfizer, Dalton Thornridge. The Falcons are set for 6. Looks like the lane may be open in 6. Devin Leitzu of Greenville. The Comets in 7. Nick Simmons of Marengo in 8. And Chicago Orr has Levante Whitfield in 9. Clean start. Now Hickman has no one on his right, so Hickman is moving up. Hickman and the battle for second. Lowry of Payton with him. It's all Gary Hickman as they head to the finish line. Hickman followed by 4 and 3. Evan Lowry, Chicago Walter Payton, and Michael Billington of the Saints of Bloomington Central running well may have come in for third. What does it look like? 14:37.
And a good start for the sophomore, Adam Nelson. And it looks like it's going to be on the inside, Seeger. Now outside, Hunt is going to be Olympia Fields. We're going to go sophomore, 6'5'4". Hunt looks like he will be the apparent winner from Rich Central. And 10:88 for the sophomore. And lane number 2, the senior from Urban Prep, we have Jeffrey Allgood. Malik Turner in lane number 3 from Sacred Heart Griffin down in Springfield. The senior, Austin Bergen of Sandwich in 4. Demaria Harris, the junior from Chicago Dunbar in 5. He was on that anchor leg in the 4x1. Jarrell Jackson, the sophomore of Marengo. Lane number 7 will be open. Lane number 8, Jamari Hare of Cahokia. And Corin Ward from Chicago Bulls. College Prep or Chicago Noble Street.
Sure you don't want to do heat 1 net? You got a Charleston gun there.
Is he in there?
Yeah.
Where's he at?
Right there.
Oh, I got to do Taylor. Okay, I'll do Taylor.
Right there.
That's fine.
Correction, that is UIC out in lane number 9
He's actually
from the Noble Street Charter. And the gun is up. A good start for Harris. He's out in the middle. Losing ground now on that is going to be Jarrell from Marengo Jackson. And here comes the speed reserve of Demaria Harris, and he'll slide through. It's going to be a close one between Jackson and Harris. Dunbar and Marengo will go to the board just in a second. Ward from UIC, believe, was in fifth in that heat. Jackson will win that one, followed by Harris. We move on to the third and final heat of this 100-meter dash, Class 2A. Flights 1 and 2 of Class 2A discus, please report to your venue. Once again, flights 1 and 2 for Class 2A discus, please report to your venue at this time. We move on and we'll set the field in lane number 2 from Champaign Centennial, the junior Jeremiah Peoples. Jack Curtis, the junior from Glenbard, south of Glen Ellen. Galesburg out in lane number 4, the sophomore Josh Eaker. Lane number 5 in the middle, Hooker, the junior of Sycamore. Javon Montgomery of Plano, the Reapers. In 6, James Obibi, the sophomore of Sacred Heart Griffin. Berwin Calsey, the senior from Rich East. And in lane number 9, Ryan Cabalt, the junior of Norridge. And a clean start for Hooker. He's out to a great start. On the inside of him is Eaker, the sophomore, and Montgomery on the outside. The triangle has formed, and it looks like it's going to be a close call between Eaker and Hooker. Always fun to see the triangle form in the middle of the track from the top to the ends, but Hooker will lead that triangle at the peak, and we'll go to the board 10:89 for Hooker, followed by Eaker, the sophomore, 10:91.
All right, on the track right now is heat number 1 of 3 of the 800-meter run, Class 2A. Here's the field. Walmer Saavedra of Chicago Lindblom in 3. Saavedra in 3. Greg Arthur, Richmond Burton in 4. Javier Montelongo, Aurora Central Catholic in 5. Luke Horton, Harrisburg in 6. Now, Anthony Barrios of Burbank St. Lawrence will be in 10. In the second Super Alley, Sean McCarty, Columbia in 11. In 12, Nick Dobbs, Olney, East Richland in 12. And leading the field from Charleston in position 13, the senior Taylor Garrett. This is section number 1 of the 800-meter run. The 800-meter run, section 1. Early lead right now. That looks like McCarty of Columbia and Barrios of Burbank St. Lawrence as they go through the south curve. Taylor Garrett trying to come down off the brake line. Leader right now is Horton of Harrisburg. Now a big pack comes together. There's Taylor Garrett going on the outside for the Charleston Trojans. Garrett followed by 4, which is Arthur of Richmond Burton. As they come through the north curve, Charleston in the lead, followed by Richmond Burton and Luke Horton of Harrisburg. And following behind them is Montelongo of Aurora Central Catholic. 400 to go. Taylor Garrett at the 58 mark. Garrett in the lead, and now you've got Horton pushing him on the outside for Harrisburg. Third place is Montalongo of Aurora Central Catholic into the backstretch. It is Taylor Garrett with Luke Horton in hot pursuit. Montalongo trying to get into the mix for the win. Then the 10 runner is Barrios of Burbank St. Lawrence. Now we've got Luke Horton pushing the outside with Taylor Garrett. Montalongo coming close. Now Garrett in second. And Horton has the lead. Now Montalongo to the outside. Here is Taylor Garrett moving to the outside, trying to push to the lead. Taylor Garrett and Montalongo. Montalongo of Aurora Central Catholic pushing forward. This one's going to be Aurora Central Catholic, then Charleston at the 158 mark. The win, unofficial, Javier Montalongo, 158.01. Taylor Garrett, Charleston, 158.20. Barrios of Burbank St. Lawrence, 150.95. Horton of Harrisburg, who challenged for the win, ends at fourth with a 158.13.
Here's heat number 2 of the 2A 800 meter run onto the track. In Super Rallies, inside position is Matt Lorish from Wheaton St. Francis. Killian Lally of the Dixon Dukes will be on his outside. Derek Hierman of Peoria and Sean Zarison of Effingham. The Hearts will be Super Rally 1. In Super Rally 2, Melvin Davis from Chicago Orr, John Kellum of Richmond Burton, the Rockets, Mount Zion's Curtis Reed, Connor Stein of Stanford Olympia, and J.D. Lafayette of Normal University High. There's the field in Heat 2 of 3. Heat winners in the top 9 times will advance to the finals tomorrow.
All right, here we go.
8 competitors in the field.
12.
Curtis Reed and Stein.
Curtis Reed and Stein are your leaders coming down from the break.
6.
That's Sean Zarison of Effingham, the Flaming Hearts of Effingham,
6-4-12, 6-4-12.
and Hierman, Killian Lally of Dixon,
11 is third.
Curtis Reed from Mount Zion is in your third position coming off the north turn.
Zarusin in the lead.
Zarusin is in the lead from the Flaming Hearts of Effingham and beautiful Lake Sarah. Dixon is second, Killian Lally, and here comes J.D. Lafayette, 56 and change at the 400 meters.
Still Zarusin.
Zarusin is still your leader. J.D. Lafayette
13
is your section leader, 156.33. He ran in sectional qualifying a week ago. But that's Sean Zarison and now Lafayette taking the lead. Lafayette taking the lead. Zarusin in second. Now he's fading to third and stumbles a bit.
13, 4, 6.
And Killian Lally from the Dixon Dukes. But it's J.D. Lafayette turning for home. And here comes Connor Stein of Stanford Olympia.
Lafayette.
It's J.D. Lafayette as they run to the finish. J.D. Lafayette, 156 and change. We'll wait for that one.
Curtis Reed in the top group from Mount Zion.
Curtis Reed in that top group from Mount Zion. It's Lafayette, 156.05. Lally of Dixon, 156.98. Stein was third from Stanford, 158.15. And here's the field in section 3 onto the track. In Super Rally 1, we've got John Bloom of Springfield Sacred Heart, Austin Gibson of Ileana Christian of Lansing. John Mangold, we've seen him earlier, running for the Redbirds of Metamora. Matt O'Connor running for Burlington Central. In Super Rally 2, Lizerke Jarman, Chicago Harlan, the Falcons, is in the inside position. Sam Lasota of Chicago Peyton, Heath Warren of Springfield, Kevin Veroe of Ileana Christian, Zach Justice of Pontiac. Jason Dawson, Chicago Dunbar, report to Discus for warm-ups. Sacred Heart Griffin, that's John Bloom. He's on the inside. And Metamora is Mangold. And running to the front, Kevin Vroeg of Ileana Christian.
Very tight.
Jockeying for position at the 200 meters. Your section leader, actually event leader, is Zach Justice of Pontiac, 155.75. Leading all competitors last week. Justice now in second. Vroeg in the lead from Ileana Christian.
Third is 6, followed by 11.
And Matt O'Connor and Heath Warren of Springfield. 56 once again at the 400 meters.
Vroeg and Justice.
Vroeg and Justice lead the field.
11 in third.
And in third right now, that's Heath Warren of Springfield.
Followed by 6 and 5.
They're followed by Matt O'Connor, Burlington Central, and Mangold of Metamora, his second event of the day. And it's Vroeg and Justice, 1 and 2. Mangold of Metamora in 3. Coming out of the north turn, 100 meters remain. It's Vroeg, the senior from Ileana Christian, Zach Justice, Mangold, and Matt O'Connor. It's Vroeg, Justice, O'Connor, and Mangold, your unofficial top 4.
And they're off. Johnsburg, Bailey Steffa, Alex Linsky of Sandwich. We have Sean Ryan of Evergreen Park, Ben Barnes of Maple Park Canelan, Jeremiah Peoples of Champaign Centennial, Alex DeLon of Springfield High School, and Juan Jackson of Jacksonville. For the first legs here, they're pretty even. We go to the first exchange. It looks like that's Champaign Centennial with their trademark handoff, and Maple Park Canelan on the inside, white over the zebra striped shorts. They're moving up well. It looks like it's going to be Maple Park Canelan going into the second exchange. That's Brandon Bishop with the second leg. And it looks like it's going to be Maple Park Canelan. Canelan all alone. Champaign Centennial trying to make up some ground. There in second. On the outside of them are the Senators. And the 4 horsemen on the backstretch trying to make some moves. Champaign Centennial moving along well in Springfield. It looks like Canelan is putting on the brakes here as they go into the exchange. And Maple Park Canelan again, they're in the hunt for the trophy. on Saturday evening. They're in the front out in lane number 5. Champaign Centennial now has a strong anchor. That's going to be Philip Hassel, the senior. For Champaign Centennial on the inside is Evergreen Park. That is Josh Carter. We go to the line. 5, 6, 3. 5 was Maple England, 6 Champaign Centennial, 3 was Sandwich. That was Austin Borgs. We need the coaches from John Bergs and Sandwich. Please report to the dugout. John Berg and Sandwich, please report to the dugout. We're underway here. 10 seconds into the second heat of the 4x2, and it looks like it's once again pretty close to call, but we're going to say Dunlap. Davion McMantis, the senior, will hand off the baton along with Phillips, the Wildcats. And Phillips now in the blue out in lane number 5 along with Rochester Rockets leading the pitcher. Coming across your screen on the home stretch, Phillips again is going to be close to call due to the stagger, so we'll go to the second exchange. It looks like Phillips followed by Rochester and Dunlap. And they go 1, 2, 3. Phillips now eating into that stagger. With 300 meters to go, one more leg to go, and now the Wildcats are galloping in the front. Dunlap would drop to third, and Rochester Rockets still hanging on. They have one more shot at it, and that's their anchor. And it's going to be Aaron Cable of Rochester, and the Phillips anchor will be Dwayne Collins, the junior. And now Collins, close. Coming onto the home straightaway, dipping the head, and here back comes Dunlap. Dunlap now taking the lead over Rochester, the Chicago Public League, Phillips, followed by Dunlap and Rochester, 5, 6, 7. For the finish, the Wildcats, followed by Dunlap and the Rockets of Rochester. And they're off. Sacred Heart Griffin comes in with the second fastest in this section coming into this weekend, 129.09. And Olympia Fields, Rich Central, in 7th with 130.09. Sacred Heart Griffin, Tristan Blair, the freshman, welcome to high school for Sacred Heart Griffin, moving into the first exchange. And a Rich Central, that is Kenandre Henderson, the junior. And we'll go with Dunbar. With a smooth exchange there in the lead. That was Raekwon Irving, the first leg. Second leg now Joseph Branch, the junior. And way out in front, Lucas Wolbers of Mount Zion. And we'll come here to the second exchange. Dunbar, we're going to be watching in blue and white stripe. Rich Central is there again, 6th time in the sectional coming in as Sacred Heart Griffin is slowly moving into the spotlight there out in lane number 5. Rich Central and Sacred Heart, the Cyclones. We move into the 4th anchor, but don't count out Demaria Harris of Dunbar. And a interesting exchange for Sacred Heart Griffin. Olympia Fields will have the jump, and here comes Demaria Harris. He's in the blue out of the turn. He has some chasing to do as Sacred Heart Griffin and Rich Central gets closer and closer to the finish line. Demaria Harris, once again, a star show in itself. We're going to go to the finish, 5, 6, and 4. The Class 2A starter has the runners on their way. Again, the Shamrocks in 2, Mascoutah in 3, Galesburg in 4, Cahokia in 5, Mount Vernon 6, Winnebago 7, and Grayslake Central out in 8. Again, close to call. We have to go to the exchange to find out who will be in the lead. It looks like, from my vantage point, Cahokia will hit the baton, followed by Mount Vernon and Winnebago. We go to Grays Lake Central out in lane number 8. They're the first ones that make the curve, followed by Winnebago, Mount Vernon, and here comes Cahokia. The Comanches. That is going to be Jamari Ward, the sophomore, with that leg. We go to the third exchange, passing off to his teammate, which will be Marquise Murray. He's a freshman. And once again, welcome to high school for the Comanches, and he is in the lead on the backstretch, followed by Winnebago and Grays Lake. Galesburg on the 4th spot. And again, the freshman leading the way, going to hand off to the junior, Mr. Atkins of the Comanches, followed by Winnebago. This is Jeffrey Swanson, along with Malcolm Reed of Grays Lake Central, the Rams. This is going to be Galesburg. That is Josh Eaker. Again, he has great closing speed, and he's closing right now on a Winnebago, but it's going to be the junior for Comanches, and Eaker will close this one up in second out of lane number 4, followed by Grays Lake in 8.
What's the record?
127.29.
The record 127.29. 127.91. Again, we have two outstanding teams.
Coach from Mount Vernon to the dugout. Coach from Mount Vernon. First call for the 300 hurdles to the tent. In this lane, you've got Jerome Redmond of DuSable in 2, Wyatt Vernon, Prairie Ferry Central in 3, more of Metamora in 4, Turon Lions in the middle for Cahokia in 5. You've got Cahokia again in Lions. Michael Giovanelli of Chatham Glenwood in 6, Brandon Riley of Morgan Park in 7, Josh Burton Monticello in 8. Right now it's Moore and Giovanelli. Giovanelli still has that record on the 4x2 for Chatham Glenwood. Right now it's Metamora and Chatham Glenwood. Here comes Lions of Cahokia, and on the outside 7 is going to sneak up and grab this one. Chicago Morgan Park's Brandon Riley. Moore and Giovanelli running 1-2 until lane number 7 came in the picture. In the middle here, you got Devontae Clark.
We're running a little bit close on the check-ins here. Can you start calling them a little bit earlier? We should be first call in the 1,600 meters already. Thank you.
Brady Marlin of Cahokia on the inside. Matt Ruff, West Chicago on the outside. Everybody together. Second call on the 300 hurdles to the tent. Second call, 300 hurdles to the tent. Now coming around, you've got Devontae Clark. That's Jacksonville, the Crimson, in the lead. Cahokia and Wheaton Academy right behind. Kidwell of Watseka next in line. It's Clark and Ruff.
563.
Clark, Ruff, and Kidwell as they come across. It looks like the win to Devontae Clark of Jacksonville. Clark with a 48.99. And we're going to look for Ruff. Ruff is second with a 48.52. All right, final race here in the 400. Tavon Landry in the middle for Carbondale. Lane 3 running well. That's Watson of Chicago Urban. We watch Kucera there in the white over candy stripe. It's still Watson inside of him from Chicago Urban Prep Charter. Watson pulling ahead of the field even more. 30 seconds as they go behind. Two Canelan runners are Kucera and Carter. Kucera on the inside, Carter on the outside. Landry in between them for Carbondale. Right now it's Kucera trying to gain on Watson of Urban Prep. This one's going to go to the Public League. 3, 4, 5. It looks like the order of finish. Watson in 3.
And the gun goes off at exactly 11:15 as it's scheduled, and we'll set the field. Levante Whitfield, the senior of Orr, in 2. Will Hempel, the senior of Hampshire, in 3. Karan Sessions, the junior of Cahokia, in 4. Calvin Johnson, Centralia, in 5. J.D. Geeson, someone failed. That looks like it was Dunlap, out in lane number 7. Drew Pranka, the junior of Princeton, in 8, and will come on the home straightaway. It looks like Mr. Johnson of Centralia, followed by Klaus of Dunlap. We'll go 5, 7, 8, probably 4, 5, 7, 8, I'll call it, and then 4 for Sessions of Cahokia. Ileana Christian, the junior, Byron Preschbacher, Cal Yurke, in lane number 3 of Metamora, Greenville, Devon Litchuk, Maple Park Canelan, Dolan Newgert, the senior, Joel Thomas, Springfield Lamphere, and lane number 7, Alan Terry, the senior, Champaign Centennial, and Princeton, Lenny Mead, the sophomore. And they're off clean start. In the middle again, we have Nugent of Maple Park Canelan. He's over the hurdles first, followed on the outside, Joel Thomas. That's still Dylan of Maple Park Canelan. He'll go through the curve now. That is Champaign Centennial's Terry Allen on the way outside. He moves into second place here. And coming on strong is Greenville, Devon Litchuk. But Maple Park Canelan, Dylan Niger, coming through the Lone Ranger here in the second heat. In second, we have Yurke and Litchfield. So we go 5, 4, 6, and then 3. 5, 4, 6, 3. Jim Effinger to the discus. Jim Effinger to the discus. And that is Hickman. Not disappointing at all with that long stride. He's in the middle, white over blue shorts. Followed by Cable of Rochester Rockets. A phenomenal lead leg for Gary Hickman of Cahokia. Rochester Rockets followed by Patton of Mount Vernon. That will be 5, 6, 7. Coming along here, Sycamore, that's Logan, but Hickman Outstanding mechanics over the hurdles. He'll follow through 5, 6, 7, 4. So we go Hickman, Cable, Patton, and Schneider. We got a clean start out early. That is going to be Billingsley. Still over the hurdles, and now coming on is Eggy. That is Cody Roll of Nazareth with that great start. And he's rolling into the curve. Now it looks like Lucas Eggy and Sandro, the senior. Canelan in 2. That is Brock Robinson. We go Iggy, Robinson, and Roll. So we go 5, 4, 7, 6, 3. 5, 4, 7, 6, 3. That's Iggy, Robinson, Billington, Margaret's.
As the competitors are out ready to enter the stadium, state's best is J.D.L. Lafayette of Normal University. You saw him earlier in the 800. Sectional best Joe Singleton of Glenbard South. Hard to handicap the 1600 in 2A. We've talked about Lafayette coming back from the 800, and that's a tough double to run at the state meet. It could be okay, though, for Lafayette. Singleton of Glenbard South coming back from the 3200 should he get it on Saturday. Singleton could make a difference in the race depending upon how things go for him in the 3200 later. The guy who could be the favorite, Murphy Affolder of Mascoutah, 421 last week. He could win the second straight title for the school. Affolder, defending champion of this event in Class 2A. A deep field, 12 runners with 4 seconds of each other. Sal Flight of Fenwick will be a factor. Modert of Mount Vernon, Nick Feeney, Ileana Christian, David Cias of Springfield, and Lance Mueller of Waterloo. Sub 420 is what we're going to look for as we progress to Saturday.
First call, 200 meters. That's a first call, Class 2A, 200 meters. Here's the field. In Heat 1 of 3, we've got Leslie Chan of Chicago Peyton the Warriors, Austin Kintz, a sophomore from Maple Park Canelan, another sophomore from Bartonville Limestone, Matt Carr, Cole Rodenberg of Waterloo, also of Waterloo, Lance Mueller. From Chicago Lindblom, Eduardo Rodriguez, Tyler Owens from Springfield, Nick Brave from St. Viator, the Lions out of Arlington Heights. From Chicago Marion, Cameron Howard, we believe he's the leader at this point. And Brenner Webster of Salem, Salvatore Flight of Fenwick, he's your section leader. And that completes the field. 62 seconds at the 400 meters. Flight 1 of the long jump please report to the north pit. That would be Class 3A. 3A long jump to the north pit.
Okay.
Flight 2, report to the south pit. That's long jump AAA again.
10 and 13 now in the lead.
Here's the field. That's Nick Bray, St. Viator of Arlington Heights. He took it out last week in the sectional at Grays Lake Central. He is your leader.
And 13 is in second.
And Salvatore Flight from Fenwick, the Friars, he is in second. Remember, he is your section leader. And in third, Cole Rodenberg from Waterloo. And his teammate in fourth, that's Lance Mueller, also of Waterberg.
Get it in. Class 3A high jump.
Class 3A high jump, please report. 209 at the half mile. We need a referee to the dugout.
10 in the lead.
Nick Bray, the senior from St. Viator of Arlington Heights, running for the Lions. Then it's Salvatore Flight, and he's followed by Cole Rodenberg. Rodenberg's teammate, Lance Mueller, follows.
5 and 6. Yep.
We got 500 meters remain in this heat 1 of 3. That's still Nick Bray of St. Viator. Now challenging for seconds, Cole Rodenberg of Waterloo. He's challenging Flight of Fenwick. Lance Mueller also in fourth at this point. 300 meters remain. And now challenging for fourth from Marion out of Chicago Heights, it's the senior Cameron Howard. And Salvatore Flight, Fenwick, now establishes himself with 200 meters remaining into second, but clearly leading the field. That's Nick Bray. 100 meters remain in this first heat of 3. Nick Bray of Arlington Heights St. Viator, the Lions, as he runs to the finish.
Fenwick in second.
That's Fenwick in second. Salvatore Flight running for Fenwick.
Both Waterloo.
And here come the Waterloo runners. We believe that's Mueller, followed by Rodenberg. And then Matt Carr, the sophomore from Bartonville Limestone.
All right, another call for the 200.
And we have a second call for the 200. Second call for the 200. And Bray's time, 4:21:33. Here's the field in Heat 2. In the inside alley, we have David Chenoweth of Geneseo, Jacob Lee of Washington, Noah Affolder of Muscuda, Ben Mordig of Vernon Hills, J.D. Lafayette, we spoke of him earlier, from Normal U-High. In Super Alley 2 on the inside, Walmer Saavedra of Chicago Lindblom, Ryan Van Dyke of Stanford Olympia, Simon Thorpe of Dixon, Jackson Powell of Mohammed Seymour, David Sias of Springfield, and Murphy Affolder of Mascuda. We have 2 Affolders in the race, a senior and a freshman. We've got Murphy and Noah.
On your mark.
11 competitors in the field. Flight 1 and 2 of AAA long jump, you need to report. Flight 1 and 2 of AAA long jump, please report at this time. We've got the freshman from Mascoutah, Noah Affolder. He's your leader. On his shoulder, that's Ben Mordique, the veteran senior from Vernon Hills.
12-3.
Then it's David Sias of Springfield and Jacob Lee of Washington. Tightly packed field after 300 meters. We've got a freshman leading the group and his senior, Mordique of Vernon Hills.
Big move on the outside, number 9.
And Ryan Van Dyke from Stanford Olympia now moves into third. Mordique now takes the lead. We're about 65 seconds at the 400 meters. Ben Mordique now,
Freshman is battling for
your leader. We've got the freshman from Mascoutah, Noah Affolder, in that second group. And Stanford Olympia's Ryan Van Dyke. He's tight in that mix as well. There's a slight stumble on the northeast turn, but no flags.
Now, Mascoutah senior, he's in third.
And moving up into third, that's Murphy Affolder, the senior from Mascoutah. But Ben Mordique leads the field.
10 is second.
And Simon Thorpe of Dixon, the Dixon Dukes, now moves into second.
209 at the half.
209 at the half on Mordique. Dixon runs second.
And Mascoutah's third.
Mascoutah, that's Murphy Affolder.
We have a new fourth,
He's running in third. A new fourth,
number 6.
and that's J.D. Lafayette from Normal University High.
Freshman coming back. But
And Noah Affolder still in the hunt. Mordique still leads the field at the north turn. He's got 500 meters.
we're coming up to the 3-minute mark here right now.
And we're right now at 3 minutes.
So we go back.
That's Mordique and Simon Thorpe. Simon Thorpe, a senior from Dixon, running for the Dukes. And from Mohammed Seymour, following him, Jackson Powell, number 1936, a junior, now in third. We've got U-High's J.D. Lafayette in fourth. Heat winners, and then the top 9 times will qualify for the finals tomorrow.
All right, 5 is first,
That's Mordique of Vernon Hills,
then 10, then Simon Thorpe.
and then Simon Thorpe of Dixon running second. Lafayette from University High in third,
13 and 4th.
and Murphy Affolder from Mascoutah in fourth. 150 meters remain. That's the veteran Ben Mordique of Vernon Hills, clearly ahead of the field. And from University High, the Pioneers, here comes Lafayette and Murphy Affolder. 420 on Mordique. It's Lafayette, Affolder, ooh, and on the inside. 420.43 for Ben Mordique. Lafayette 422.75. Affolder, that's Murphy, 423.86. 1600. In Super Rally 1, Position 1, Zach Hurd of Rock Island, Alaman. The Pioneers, Reese DeSantis of Champaign Central, Travis Shire of Metamora, Tony Wandal of Ileana Christian, David Modert of Mount Vernon. That rounds out Alley 1. And Alley 2, Stephen Orta of Chicago Noble Street Charter, James Cott of Richmond Burton, Jake Gillum of Metamora, Matt Church of East Peoria, from Ileana Christian in Lansing, Nick Feeney, and Joe Singleton of Glenbard South. There's your field, final section. It appears we have 11 competitors. We've got Rockford Alleman now on the rail. Zach Hurd, the Pioneers. And Jake Gillum, the freshman from Metamora. And Glenbard South, Joe Singleton, the Raiders. He's now in third on the outside rail. He's in the white over blue. He had the fastest qualifying time a week ago, 4:21:14 out of all the sectionals. Nick Feeney, Ileana Christian. It's a tight-knit pack. All 11 competitors within 10 meters.
10 on the rail.
Jake Gilliam of Metamora, and on the inside in all green from Rock Island Alleman, it's Zach Hurd.
13 takes the lead. 4 is making a
Taking the lead now, it's Singleton of Glenbard South
making a charge.
out of DuPage County.
4 is now in third.
In third now, we've got Travis Shire of Metamora,
Both Metamora runners are in the top group.
and Jake Gillum, the freshman, also from Metamora.
He's just pushing forward.
He's pushing forward now.
4 spot.
He's pushing. Dangerous.
And 11 on the outside.
We have a new leader.
New leader is Metamora 4.
That's Travis Shire, Metamora.
13 is 2.
And Singleton, he follows.
Number 10
By 10.
He's in a Redbird sandwich now as the senior from Glenbard South.
coming up to
Feeney in the 5 spot.
Feeney into fifth now. Ileana Christian.
They might be jumping the gun here.
We have about 9 runners, all within striking distance. 2:17 at the 800 meters. This race is too close to call. It's going to come down to the very end and who's got a strong finishing kick.
Yeah, it's strategic. They're all still there. Normally these things spread out.
That's Metamora in your lead.
6 is second.
4 with 6. 4 with 6.
And Mount Vernon, that's David Modert.
13 is third.
He's to the
Modert now
outside
is
and
challenging
into the lead.
and into the lead.
10. Metamora 10 into second.
And Jake Gillum of Metamora into second. Joe Singleton of Glenbard South right on his shoulder, comfortably in third.
And Hurd up there in the 4.
Hurd is in fourth.
Still pushing a lot. Still battling. Still
Hurd from Rock Island. He's on the inside in the green and white.
1,200 meters coming up. Drawing out.
At the 1,200 meters, now the field separates a bit. 3:26.
Vernon is your leader.
Mount Vernon, your leader, David Modert of Mount Vernon. He's a senior.
Second is second.
Hurd in second.
Hurd now in second from Rock Island.
And he's going to the
He's
outside.
going into the lead right now.
Glenbard South.
And here comes Singleton of Glenbard South, the Raiders
Singleton to
of
second.
Glenbard South into second.
200 meters to go.
200 meters remain.
Fourth place is 11 and coming forward.
And Matt Church, East Peoria, is into fourth, the Red Raiders of Peoria. 100 meters remain. It's Hurd, Zach Hurd, the senior from Rock Island Alleman, and here comes Singleton. Hurd and Singleton. Hurd and Singleton as they go to the wire. Hurd, Singleton,
East and Mount Vernon next.
Mount
and then
Vernon
East
next.
Peoria.
East Peoria. I believe that's Modert and Church. And 100 meters remaining, it's the Chicago Bulls. College Prep, Stephen Orta, a senior. All right, here's the times. Hurd was first, 4:25.42. Singleton second, 4:25.55.
Clean start. Again in the middle here is Dion Hooker for Sycamore. It's Hooker right now. Inside of him, Franklin Hunt. And on the outside is Richard Clark of Vernon Hills. There's Hooker trying to work up with Hunt. Hunt still has an advantage on the inside by an eyelash. 5, Dion Hooker. 4, Franklin Hunt right there. 6, Tavon Landry, Carbondale. And we go to heat number 2 into the blocks. Call again on the 4x400s. Call on the 4x400 to the tent. We are in second call. Caleb Strom, Princeton will be in 2. Charles Taylor, Evergreen Park in 3. Jack Curtis, Glenbard South in 4. Demoria Harris, Chicago Dunbar, the Chicago Public League champion, is in the middle. Robert Greider, Mount Vernon, the Rams in 6. Chicago Harlan, the Falcons. Dante Adams in 7. Pat Ciccarelli of Peoria Notre Dame in 8. And Tommy Hoffman of Chicago St. Patrick's in 9.
Two kids out of the Grace Lakes.
Demoria Harris in the all blue for Dunbar. Outside of him, you got Robert Greider of Mount Vernon and Peoria Notre Dame Ciccarelli running well. Now we get Demoria Harris turning it on. You've got Ciccarelli here on the outside, now pulling even for second place. The win to Dunbar. Camera will have to sort out second. Demoria Harris. Into the blocks, our final preliminary of the 200 in Class 2A. Jarrell Jackson Marengo in 2. Coach from Ileana Christian, please report to the clerk's tent. Coach from Ileana Christian, please report to the clerk's tent. Devontae Clark back in this one for the Jacksonville Crimson. He'll be in 3. Ty Sager, Wheaton Academy in 4. Here's Josh Eicher, the sophomore, for Galesburg in 5. He'll have an act to follow, trying to match Dunbar's time here in the last race. Evan White of Rochelle in 6. Austin Kidwell, the Watseka Warriors in 7. Darrell Jackson, Springfield Lamphere in 8. Aviance Carlisle of Chicago Noble Street Charter in 9. Final call on the 4x4s. Gun is up. Clean start. Eicher is in the yellow over black, and he's got a nice start. Outside of him is White of Rochelle. It is now Eicher at the top of the arrow. Inside of him, Seeger of Wheaton Academy. Wheaton Academy and Rochelle White trying to move it up. It's Galesburg with the win, followed by 4. And it may even be closer. Let's see what we got. 21:46 is the record. Heat number 1 of 4 in the middle here, Burlington Central with Mount Vernon on the inside, Springfield Southeast on the outside. 3-turn stagger, Dixon with a nice start in this race. The Dukes on the outside, everybody else even from Mount Vernon through Springfield Southeast. Spartans wearing dark blue today. And Burlington Central also in the navy blue.
1751 on Dixon.
Dixon is 1751.
1536 on
That's Lamandola.
1536 from Burlington.
Burlington Central is Lucas Eggy in the lead. Let's watch the exchange in the stagger, and it's Burlington Central first with Dixon and Mount Vernon. Flight 2 Vaulters, report to the North Pit, please. Flight 2 Vaulters, report to the North Pit. 3A Pole Vaulters, report. Looks like Dixon has sprung to the lead. Yep, Dixon with Burlington Central now swinging around. And 17:45 for Burlington Central, 45 out there is Neubauer. And it looks like Springfield Southeast next in line. Dixon will slide in, it looks to second. Springfield Southeast, apparent lead. We'll double check it. Burlington Central in the lead right here.
Here comes Springfield.
But Springfield is coming back into the picture. Burlington Central, Springfield, and Dixon. You're 1, 2, 3 into the north curve. Behind the scoreboard at 2:11 on the clock, Burlington Central. 15:41 for Burlington is Casey Matthews. He's in the lead. Springfield Southeast, 2200 is Montarius Wheatley. Wheatley trying to state pace with Burlington Central as we go to the anchors. And 400 to go. It is still Burlington Central. Springfield Southeast trying to catch up with the Rockets.
We need the
Jury of Appeals to the dugout, please. Jury of Appeals to the dugout. Look at Springfield Southeast. They're closing. Burlington Central now. Hot on their heels. It's Springfield Southeast. 2194 for the Spartans. That is Troy Bunch. Troy Bunch. Slingshots. Trying to get past Burlington Central. Oh, the inside is held by the Rockets. And there we go. 324. Burlington Central holds on by a heartbeat. As Springfield Southeast closed it up, starting with the backstretch. Dixon is third in that race. All right, you got Centralia, Chatham, Glenwood, and Springfield across the middle here as we start race number 2. Here's the field for the 200 on Saturday. In Class 2A, Jack Curtis will be in 1 for Glenbard South. Dante Adams of Chicago Harlan in 2. Franklin Hunt, Olympia Fields Central in 3. And then we've got the All-Stars across the middle. Dion Hooker in 4. Josh Eicher, who smashed the record today, in 5. And Demoria Harris of Dunbar in 6. That's the middle of that 200 final. Way out in front, Glenwood Chatham. Chatham Glenwood way out in front. Then here on the outside you got St. Viator. And between them Springfield High. Tavon Landry of Carbondale will be in 7. Pat Cicciarelli of Peoria Notre Dame in 8. And Ty Seeger of West Chicago will be in 9. We look forward to that 200 dash on Saturday in Class 2A. After the 3-turn stagger and past the brake line, looks like it's still Chatham Glenwood, Springfield right behind. And Viator. Viator will slide down to lead the rest of the pack in the 3 group. And everybody starting to tighten up again. Chatham Glenwood in the lead, 16-17 for Chatham is John Schroll, and then for the Springfield 7 Senators, 21-76. 76 is Zach Stratton. And on the outside, you have Centralia in the mix here, and that handoff was Johnson going over to Shandon Webster. I think the pack is tightening up now as they come out of the curve. Looks like Mount Vernon. Let's check this out. There is Chatham Glenwood again in front. And Pontiac is in the 2 spot now. Chatham Glenwood 16:08 is Giovanelli, Dominic Giovanelli. Familiar name in the record books for Chatham Glenwood. 21:10 for Pontiac is Michael Hones. Hones has done well. Springfield High on the outside for Springfield. A 3-runner was Zach Stratton. And now we go to the anchors. Looks like Pontiac was right there trying to get everything out for his exchange. Right now it's Springfield pushing Pontiac. Centralia in the 4. Your leader, Chatham Glenwood. For Chatham, that anchor is Michael Giovanelli. Pontiac's anchor is Jacob Tolbert. For Springfield High, the anchor is Vernon Holloway. Right now it's still Chatham Glenwood's Michael Giovanelli, the senior, trying to bring Chatham home. Here's Springfield pushing it. 21:70 is Vernon Holloway. He goes for 2nd. Centralia struggling, trying to come into 3rd on Pontiac, and it's close for 3rd between Pontiac and Centralia. 3:23.8 team, Chatham Glenwood. Cahokia is the record with a 3:18.20, but Chatham is the victor here at the 3:23.18.
And they're off. Maple Park Canelan. That's Brock Robertson. He's a senior off to an early lead. 3-turn stagger. Difficult to tell this early point in the race. Mohammed Seymour. That's Chris Carlton running on the opening leg for the Bulldogs.
Still Canelan.
Canelan's still your leader. And on the outside, Chicago Phillips. It's Wendell Phillips. Tremaine Moore.
Yep, he'll be the leader.
He could be your leader. That's Maple Park Canelan. Troy Triad. It's Maple Park. Phillips and Troy. 1, 2, and 3. Brandon Bishop runs for the Knights. They're going to be breaking to the pole position for Troy. Their second runner is Dan Hilling. Hilling is a junior, and Phillips runs Dwayne Collins, a junior. And following that group, there's Highland. Grant Riggs runs for Highlands. Then Mount Zion, they're in the white over red. Mount Zion runs Austin Ray. And the field tightens just a little bit. That's Canelan. And here comes Highland. And Troy. That's Canelan, Troy, and Highland, and Phillips. Johnson College Prep now with the handoff. Kyle Carter runs for Canelan. And Troy on this third leg. Andrew Vogel runs for Troy. Highland is closing. Trevor White moving up. Wendell Phillips. Kendall Morris with 200 meters to go. There's your top four. Mount Zion runs fifth. Turning for home, Kyle Carter on this third leg. It's Troy, Highland, and Phillips.
Canelan, ready to go. And
To the anchor.
Clear at 2:32.
2:32 with one remaining. Nathaniel Kucera running on the anchor for Canelan. Troy now in second. Sam Lawson runs for Troy. Highland runs Cody Gray. They're in third. And Phillips is hanging in there. Amani Jones now into third. Now into second for Wendell Phillips. 150 meters remain. That's Canelan. Phillips, Kucera on the anchor for Canelan. Here comes Triad. Phillips is second. Here comes Triad challenging, passing Phillips to the finish line. It's Canelan, that's Kucera, 3:22. It's Triad, Phillips, Highland,
And
Mount Zion.
comes close.
We look to the scoreboard. Maple Park, 3:22.92. Troy Triad at 3:26.06 was second. Phillips third at 3:27 and change. And they're off. This is the final preliminary heat for 2A competition today. If you look to the middle of the track in lane 5, Cahokia has a season best of 3:18.19, and that exceeds our state record by 1/100th of a second. They ran 3:21.57 a week ago at sectionals. That's Jalan Monaghan running the opening leg for Cahokia, for the Comanches. He's leading the field. On the inside from Peoria, Brandon Ruffin runs for the Lions. On the inside of that, Darius Allen of Tinley Park. Harrisburg, Luke Horton just passed the baton to Corbin Krim for the Bulldogs. Plano now runs Javon Montgomery on their second leg. And Antioch runs Gabe Lopes.
All the way Cahokia.
Cahokia, a freshman, Chris Stanley, runs for the Comanches, a commanding lead. Now moving into second.
I'll tell you second as well. Here,
That's in the all red.
here comes the Bulldogs. Here's Harrisburg coming around.
Harrisburg coming around now. Harrisburg into second. Wheaton St. Francis in third. To the next exchange. Cahokia. Marlon Brady running for Cahokia. But Harrisburg now in second. They're making a little bit of a run here. Dustin Lane, he's a sophomore, running for the Bulldogs. There's a battle for third going on. Peoria is in third.
32.
Or that's Tinley Park in third. That's Randall Newton. Now going to the final exchange, the field tightens. Cahokia has about a 10-meter lead over Harrisburg. Cahokia, Tyron Lyons. Tyron Lyons, he's a sophomore running on the anchor for Cahokia. Here comes Harrisburg. James Curtis running for the Bulldogs. Tinley Park runs third. They run Johnny Taylor.
Four runners, four. Fourth is four.
And Peoria runs B.J. Harris. There's your top four. 100 meters remain in this final two-way competition on the track today. That's Cahokia. Tyron Lyons, about 3:21. Harrisburg, Peoria, Tinley Park,
And the 7 runner coming in now.
and Plano, followed by Antioch. And Wheaton St. Francis rounds out the field. 3:21.74, the time on Cahokia. Harrisburg 3:23.73. In third, Peoria 3:25. It looks to be 0-2. Tinley Park 3:25.62.